On this episode, I eventually get to the point. Takes a little while, but I get there.
This real estate stuff is not easy, so send me your questions and I will answer them. This is the Ask Jason Show.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jason Piercy. This is episode 155 of the Ask Jason Show. I just realized that in that intro, I was slightly less exuberant and slightly less animated than I normally am. And I think it's because my partner and I, Sam, God love her, she's the most incredible human being. Anyway, we live together. So she's upstairs and I heard her walking around and I felt like I can't be as loud because but like, don't change yourself for other people. You shouldn't do that. She loves me for who I am, I hope. And I love her for who she is. So I don't need to be a toned down version of myself. Anyway, not the point of the episode. The point of the episode is, found myself in discussion with somebody who was talking about making money in real estate. And they said that they had some rental properties and they felt like now was a good time to sell them because prices are high and they wanted to make some money. And I know that sounds like it makes sense, okay? Because you sell your house when prices are high and you get cash in your hands or in your bank account or whatever. So you trade your real estate asset for cash or crypto or whatever. And it feels like now you have made money, you have earned money. But I don't think that's right. That's not true to me because the wealth, like if you talk about wealth, if you talk about being rich, or you talk about, actually, I don't like the word rich. I think the people that are rich, that's like the level of money where you're douchey about it. That's the level of wealth where you're douchey. That's what I feel rich is. But actual wealth, like where your money is a foregone conclusion. And you're okay, you're always gonna be okay, your kids are gonna be okay, as long as they're not douchebags that you cut off. So that wealth in that sense, coming from real estate, is not about selling anything and having cash. Because if you sell a property that is a rental, it no longer earns you any money, first of all, and you're taxed on the proceeds of that sale. So you're gonna lose, a large portion of it. And it's like it no longer works for you, right? So you don't pay taxes on borrowed money, right? So when you borrow money to acquire a real estate asset, you have, let's say it's $300,000. You borrow $300,000. That's $300,000 that you are using to earn you money on a regular basis because it's rented out to somebody, okay? So you borrowed $300,000 and put it to work for you. That $300,000, you don't pay any taxes on. And I know like this seems weird, but just think, if you had to take $300,000 of your own dollars to purchase something, in order to make that $300,000, you probably actually had to earn 500, maybe somewhere between 500 and 600, because you were taxed on that in whatever income bracket. So to buy that $300,000 house with cash, you really had to earn close to 600,000. So right? And then when you sell the house to get your money back, you got to pay taxes on that too. You don't make money in real estate when you sell stuff. That is not when you make money in real estate. You make money in real estate when you buy. That's when your money's made. You make a good decision, you plan it out, it fits whatever algorithm you have assembled for your investment. Maybe it's like some people follow a 1% rule, which means that whatever the total purchase price of the property is, 1% of that amount needs to return monthly in rent. Like you buy a 2-apartment home for $300,000. So I need to get $3,000 a month in rent from the top and the bottom combined. That's the 1% rule. Other people look at it, there's a 10% rule. So in a year, I need to return 10% of what I purchased the property for. And like there's a bunch of different rules, and what one you use depends on how much of your own money you're putting into the property versus how much of it is leveraged, right? Because the interest that you pay on the money that you borrowed, that is not taxed, but you pay interest on it. And that interest is a tax deduction. So not only is it's free money. You make the right decision when you buy real estate, that's when you make your money. When you sell it, that's when you lose your money. Because all of the free money you got, because I know you borrowed it, and I know you paid interest on it, and I know blah, 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 yes. But think of your net worth. The interest is a tax deduction. If you didn't pay it in interest, you'd have paid it to CRA. It wasn't your money to begin with. It's free money. And maybe you hired a property manager. Yeah, you can give it to them and offload all of the work, or you can give it to CRA. Not gonna be your money anyway. And trust me, I love Canada. I love being in Canada. I think living here is great. When it comes to finances, in Canada, we have this magic reset button. You can just hit the reset button on your finances, file bankruptcy, 9 months, 24 months later, you're back again, like it never happened. We live in a beautiful country where our healthcare is free. Like, I have roughly 16 surgical incisions. That's how many scars from surgery. I think 15, 16, something like that. Less than 20, more than 10. If that had to happen, say, in the country belonging to our neighbors to the south, that's millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. I paid $110 for the ambulance. There's 40 pieces of titanium in me, roughly. That alone, I mean, what's titanium? Titanium's expensive. I'm probably worth more dead just for the titanium. Anyway, Canada's a glorious place. Why did I start talking about that? I can't, but CRA can suck an egg. I'm not a fan of Canada Revenue. Did I take my meds? I did. I don't know. Yeah, okay, yes, I know. He showed me the time. He's like, I gotta go. Anyway, the point of this was meant to be that good decisions in real estate and profitability in real estate is made when you purchase, is when you buy. That's when your money is made. When you sell, that's when you stop making money. And when you cash out, you pay taxes on what you cash out, you no longer have the deductions, and you're not making money anymore. That's like retiring, which is fine. If that's where you are, cool. But you don't sell something to make money. You're not earning anything then. The money was already yours. It was in the house. You took it out of that pocket, put it in this one. And now this one, the government takes half of. And this one doesn't give you any more money. But this one keeps giving you more money all of the time. And it gives you all of these nice little tax deductions. Money is made in real estate when you buy. It's not made when you sell. If you can get through the first, 12 minutes of however ridiculous this episode was, then I hope you hear that message. You make your money when you buy, not when you sell. And here at the Ask team, we're particularly good at real estate investment. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. The Ask Jason Show exists so that you can get good real estate related information from a resource that you can trust. Now, speaking of resources you can trust, here's a couple I would trust to work with my mom. Because good enough for mom, good enough for you. It's a bit late to color balance, isn't it?
Color balance you.